All right, let's discuss with our centerpiece panel. We got Bill Polian, Jason Taylor, Todd McShay, Mel Kiper Jr. It almost sounds make-believe. He can't get the pads on 3 years ago, and now he could go as high as #2 in the draft. I know you guys hadn't heard much about him, and that's not any slap on you guys, but no one had heard about it. When did you first pick up on Ziggy Ansah?
Rodney Gilmore, we work with here, did the college football game, the Utah-BYU game. I think it was a Friday night game. Came in the green room that we all sit in between hits, and he said, "Have you checked out the defensive player from BYU? You got to look at him." And I said, "Who? Van Noy? He's an underclassman. The guy we just saw here, Kyle Van Noy." And he said, "No, Ezekiel Ansah." I said, I've never heard of him. I have no idea. So I later that day downloaded the tape and started watching it on my iPad and watched this Utah game. And there were times he got stood up and just was bowled over. Double teams were killing him. But there were a couple clips where he just closes, and you can just see that the potential is there with him. And then keep watching him get to Notre Dame and Georgia Tech, and the improvement he made was just remarkable.
We were also laughing at him jostling guys on the track, which is why he left that sport. Tell us about his physical tools.
They're incredible, and they had to be to go from undrafted, off the radar, to the 2nd pick overall, 5th pick overall, certainly in the top 10, David. To have this meteoric rise, you had to be special and unique and a freakish talent. And to be 6'5½", 271 pounds, to close as quickly. We talk about Barkevious Mingo at LSU, quick as a cat, closes, gets from point A to point B in a blink. He does it as well. So I think to see that type of skill level, and it seems like he's going to develop a passion for the game. Didn't know anything about it. Now he seems to really embrace it. To see that energy level and to keep learning, and a smart kid, all those things have allowed him to do something. I don't think anybody, and I asked Bill Polian this, I said, in my 35 years, Bill, you've been around it forever, I've never seen a player go from completely off the radar entirely to first round, let alone top 10, the way Ezekiel Ansah is right now. This has never happened before, in my opinion.
Bill, your thoughts on any red flags or any concerns going into this draft?
I would always ask our staff when we got to this point, with about 5 days left, if this player is going to fail, tell me why he will fail. And when you look at Ziggy Ansah, is he going to fail because he doesn't have physical tools? No. Is he going to fail because he's not mentally tough? No. He made it in a new land all by himself. Is he going to fail because he's not intelligent? No. He's a statistics major. Is he going to fail because he doesn't have experience playing the game? Maybe. But you can teach that. Right. All of the other things are red flags that will cause someone to fail. He's not going to fail because of those things. He's going to succeed, and the likelihood of his success is pretty darn good.
Now, when you watch him on tape, did you notice anything that manifested itself that shows that that guy doesn't have a feel for the game, he doesn't have experience playing the game?
I noticed just the opposite. In the Utah game, he got caught up in double teams, and he had no idea what was happening to him, and he didn't know how to get out of them. By the time he reached Notre Dame, they would double team him. He would recognize it instantly, and he's got what we call slipperiness, which Jason had in abundance. He just finds a way to get off a block and just escapes from it naturally. So in the space of about 6 weeks, without ever having played the game before at the highest level, he learned how to defeat a double team. It takes people years to do that. He's a natural athlete. So this is it would take a lot of courage to make this pick. You're going to be criticized, but to me, this is a guy that has it all. Cinderella, and here's the most important thing. Cinderella is going to break the glass slipper in smithereens. This is a tough, physical, ferocious guy.
He's playing your position, Jason. When you see him out there, what comes to mind?
Well, you see all the physical tools. I mean, he's big, he's fast, he's strong. You see the closing speed in the play there against Utah. But this is the guy that's still in his infancy in football. And you just think about when he gets to the NFL level, and he gets NFL coaching. He gets guys that spend time coaching him in mini camps and OTAs. Not that he's not getting that at BYU, but it's different on the next level. There will be things he needs to improve on, playing with his hands more, staying low, getting off of blocks. But all those things you can see in the 2 years that he's played this game, how far he's come. I think the sky's the limit for this guy. It's scary to watch him, how big and strong he is.
And you guys are touching on it, too. He ran a 21.9 in the 200-meter. All I know is that's really fast. That's fast for anyone, let alone 273 pounds. But really, his game now is power. He can convert speed or quickness to power. so effectively for a guy who doesn't, again, has such little experience.
That is the rarest commodity.
Give me a
for
comparable in the
defensive
NFL.
linemen.
Jason Pierre-Paul, that raw ability.
No, he's more physical than Jason.
Bigger and
Pierre.
stronger?
This is a little bit of a Bruce Smith comparison.
That
Really?
Yeah,
big.
I mean, physically.
Yeah.
He has the ability to transfer speed into power like that. That's the rarest commodity.
hardest thing to find.
Really quickly, there have been some questions about his age, and I know some scouts thought he might be older than 23. How much of a concern is that?
He's not going to be 28. And I think when you look at 23, 24 years of age, I don't think that will impact where he goes. And I think the uniqueness of Ziggy Ansah in a year last year where we talked about flipping the script, Avantez Burfict was a top 15 guy, went undrafted, had a very good rookie year, had red flags that were legitimate, became a heck of a rookie in Cincinnati. A Russell Wilson at 5'10 and a half. Became a third-round quarterback who played like a top pick overall. And now you get a kid like this come out of nowhere to establish himself as a top 10 choice. This is a rarity. This is something we've never seen before. Now, I think there'll be some reluctance to move him up that high on a lot of boards. And that one-year wonder, just not the experience, only 7 tackles, no sacks going into this year. But at the end of the day, that's where he's going to go in the top 10.
It almost sounds like make-believe, how fast and how far this guy
It
has
isn't
to
when
send.
he hits you, I can tell you
Yes,
that.
I'm sure. He'll find some ways, that's for sure. Ziggy Ansah is our centerpiece discussion today with our crew of NFL people.